Arion Carter and Jermod McCoy are both on the Chuck Bednarik Award preseason watch list. They are among 90 players, among 23 schools with 2 players, or Tennessee's among 23 schools with 2 players or more. The Chuck Bednarik Award goes to the most outstanding defensive player in college football each year. Arion Carter got his first start, last year was his first season starting for Tennessee as he enters his 3rd year with the program. Last season as a starter, he had 29 solo tackles, 68 tackles overall, 7 tackles for a loss, and an interception to go along with 6 pass breakups. He has been getting a lot of preseason hype going into this year and was a leader for the team as he, despite being a junior, accompanied the Vols to SEC Media Days. Jermod McCoy is a transfer from Oregon State who was a freshman All-American at Oregon State, and then last year was a lockdown corner for Tennessee with 44 total tackles, 26 solo, including a tackle for a loss, but also had 4 interceptions, 9 pass breakups, is the most highly touted defensive back or highly touted player for Tennessee entering the season per Pro Football Focus, and the most desirable draft prospect. Many projections have him going in the first round of next year's NFL draft. So who is Tennessee's best defender? Who will be the best one of all of them? That is coming up now. We play Hot or Cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. I'm sorry, brought to you by Sports Treasures. Excuse me on that. Sports Treasures is carrying over 5 million sports treasures and so much more. Follow on Facebook for the best sports memorabilia, daily updates. Facebook.com/sports treasures TM. Facebook.com/sports treasures TN. And we go ahead and play Hot or Cold. Who will be Tennessee's best defender this year? And I'm setting up the poll question, and it's Jermod McCoy, Arion Carter, or somebody else, because it's really down to McCoy and Carter. Now, I'm going to stick with McCoy and Carter for a minute, and then we'll get to somebody else. But let me talk about the advantages each of them have versus the other one. Both of them started last year, and Jermod McCoy was better. That should favor Jermod McCoy, as they both are returning this year. Okay? That's one thing that significantly favors him. What's working in Arion Carter's favor is Jermod McCoy obviously had an ACL tear in January, and that's going to slow him down at least for the start of the season. However, you nullify that with the fact that Jermod McCoy is starting to get healthier. Willie Martinez seems to report that he's almost back to full drills. He basically said he's progressing right on schedule. And it's not like Arion Carter wasn't banged up in the offseason. He actually had to get an injury cleaned up too. Not as serious as McCoy's. Then there's the fact that Arion Carter is expected to take a huge leap this year because he would have been better last year if not for 2 things. 1, he was still raw in coverage and he had to develop. But 2, he didn't have the same complementary help at the middle linebacker spot because Keenan Pili started the first half of the year and Keenan Pili was returning from a season-ending injury. Then Pili suffered a second season-ending injury and Jeremiah Thielander had to come in and occupy that role. And Thielander was a little raw and not ready to fill that void. This year, Thielander should be much better, making Arion Carter's job much easier, and Carter being better in coverage should allow him to take a huge leap forward. So, with all of that being said, who will be Tennessee's best defender? And now let's go ahead and play Hot or Cold, and let's go ahead and jump in. So we go first with Jermod McCoy. I am hot on Jermod McCoy being Tennessee's best defender. I think he will be, even with the injury. He's still a lockdown corner, and he still plays a position that's more important than Arion Carter. And with that in mind, Jermod McCoy, even if he's struggling at the start of the year, by October, he should be full go 100%. And he's going to have more help in the secondary this year. The reason being is because Ricky Gibson III, once he steps into that number 1 cornerback role, we talk about Arion Carter having more help. Well, Ricky Gibson III is going to be more season 2. That's going to help. Colton Hood being back there is going to help. Boo Carter with more experience is going to help. Andre Turrentine is a veteran in the secondary is going to help. Jordan Thomas back at safety is going to help. And also Jalen McMurray is back with the program. There's going to be more help for him in the secondary too, so he can even play on an island even more than he has last year. So I'm hot on Jermod McCoy. Bringing me to Arion Carter. I think Arion Carter is going to be great. I think he's a heck of a leader. I love Arion Carter. I think he is the heart and soul of that defense, but I'm cold on him being the best player on this team defensively because I do think that things favor Jermod McCoy just a little bit over Arion Carter in spite of the injury. Hot or cold, brought to you by Sports Treasures, carrying over 5 million sports treasures and so much more. Follow more on Facebook for the best sports memorabilia, daily updates, facebook.com/sports treasures TN, facebook.com/sports treasures TN.
Sports Treasures in North Knoxville is one of the South's largest sports cards and memorabilia dealers, featuring over 10 million sports cards from vintage to modern. Sports Treasures carries a full line of hobby boxes, singles, autographed memorabilia, Tennessee Vol collectibles, fan cave decorations, and so much more. See a museum full of collectibles at Sports Treasures, 4819 North Broadway in Fountain City, and Sports Treasures on Facebook. Sports Treasures, where the real sports fan goes to shop.
The poll question up: who will be Tennessee's best defender? 40% of you say Jermod McCoy, 27% of you say Arion Carter, 33% of you say somebody else. I lean Jermod McCoy. However, let's go to the somebody else. Let's play hot or cold with those guys. Who could be on that list? Let's go ahead and look at them. Let's just go down the depth chart, by the way, and see who could be Tennessee's best defender this year. Starting in the secondary, guys, who could be there? Boo Carter. Okay, if he's gonna have to play offense more. We're gonna talk about the Boo Carter situation in a minute, but given all the offseason drama, I'm cold on him. I don't think he can be the best player on this defense as much as athletically gifted as he is. Ricky Gibson III. I'm cold on him. I don't think he's capable of being a number one cornerback, and that alone will hurt him. Andre Turrentine. I think Andre Turrentine is a very smart player, very experienced. I think just has some physical limitations, and that'll keep him from being there. Colton Hood. Now, believe it or not, I'm hot on Colton Hood because he looks like he could end up being the utility defender for Tennessee in the secondary. And so he could shine in a bunch of roles, which could really help him. So I don't think he will, but he has the possibility of being it. Now, in terms of possibility, I'm hot on Arion Carter too. So I'm going to rephrase, if this is possibilities, Arion Carter, I'm still hot on. I'm just cold on him if I'm comparing him directly to Jermod McCoy and who I think is going to be better. Jalen McMurray, reliable player, cold on him. Jordan Thomas could have been had he stayed healthy last year, but he's coming back from a season-ending injury, so he won't be able to be the best player this year. Jeremiah Thielander, cold on him. He's not going to be. He's there to complement Arion Carter. But on the defensive line, where Tennessee lost Elijah Simmons, Omar Norman Lott, Amari Thomas, and James Pierce, new guys stepping up. Who could be the best player? Tyree West. I think his potential's there, but I think they're going to stick with Dominic Bailey, who seems to have emerged a lot more in the spring, and they don't want to let him go because of how reliable he's been. So I'm cold on him, and I'm cold on Dominic Bailey because I think Bailey just has physical limitations. Bryson Eason, a great leader, cold on him being the best defender for Tennessee, though. He's not a John Henderson defensive tackle. The same with David Hobbs, the other defensive tackle, cold on him. The same with Josh Shell, who's going to be a solid body, or Jamal Wallace, Isaiah Campbell, Ethan Utley, Nathan Robinson, all these interior defensive tackles. However, the defensive tackle who could be a breakout star and maybe their best defender, watch out for Jackson Moy. I'm hot on the possibility there. You guys may think I'm crazy for saying that, but I could see a little bit of Jesse Mahalona and Jackson Moy. A guy that just wraps you up by your ankles and never lets you go. Joshua Josephs, cold on him. He's a complimentary edge rusher. Caleb Herring, cold on him. However, again, among the edge rushers, Jordan Ross has the chance to be the best. And yes, Jordan Ross could be the best player for Tennessee this year. He could be the breakout defender for Tennessee, the new James Pierce. I'm actually pretty high on Jordan Ross as someone who could end up doing that. That's crazy to think about, I know. But Jordan Ross has shown a lot of promise for Tennessee. And when you take that into account, I'm actually very hot on Jordan Ross potentially becoming Tennessee's best defender. So my candidates to be Tennessee's best defender this year are going to be, I'll still make Arion Carter a candidate. Arion Carter, Jermod McCoy, and Jordan Ross. I think it comes down to those three guys, honestly. I said Jackson Moy. I'm hot on him being a possibility, but I think Jordan Ross is the guy up front that has the best chance. So Ross, Carter, McCoy. That's where I'm landing. Arion Carter, Jordan Ross, Jermod McCoy. I'm leaning on to be one of the best players on Tennessee.